Street photography, a genre of photography that is never going to be famous enough to compete with all other hyped genres, because street photography can be hard. We never know where to start. The insecurities of capturing the raw emotions of humanity can be overwhelming. Yet, this is where I found myself standing, in the midst of the crowd, these raw emotions. So, this is my journey on how I'm improving my street photography. And we will approach this journey of mine into three parts. Part 1, the right mindset. When I was starting out in street photography, my expectation levels were too high. I thought that all of my images would be quote unquote bangers. Not a term I wanted to use, but over the course of time, I understood that street photography was never about delivering the most number of images, but it is always about capturing the right emotions at the right time. So when you are out there shooting, always be prepared to fail, because there is nothing in your control when you are on the streets, and this unpredictableness is what drives me towards street photography. Moments and emotions spark like a fire and disappear within seconds, and you never know when something is going to happen or whether it would even happen. So always be prepared to fail. After the shoot, you are returning home with lots and lots of memories and experiences, which is the most important ingredient in street photography as far as I have learned. So even if you don't get a good enough image, you are still returning home with nothing to lose. Go with the mindset that you have everything to lose and nothing to gain. Don't ever shoot for the social media. Shoot for yourself. Shoot for the moments that would be evergreen. This is what street photography is all about. When you shoot for yourself, it's no more hashtag self-care, self-love. When you shoot for yourself, you're isolating all the moments that the society ignores every single day. And for you to be able to withhold those moments within a photograph is in itself a great service to the society. Memories. Now, when I was starting out with street photography, I had the compulsion to shoot everything in front of my eyes, because that was the definition for me of street photography. Day-to-day lives, capturing every single moment of day-to-day lives. But over the course of time, I understood one thing. Not only street photography, but photography in general was never about having 1,000 good photos, but it was always about having that one great photograph that triggers every single memory and emotion of that present moment. This is the mindset that transformed my vision for photography, and specifically for street photography, this vision intensified. Because in street photography, we deal with everyday emotions, everyday moments that are not built up, that cannot be recreated twice. It's a hit or miss moment. As photographers, our job is not to narrate the entire story behind the photograph. As photographers, our job is to welcome the viewer of the image inside that photograph and let him imagine in his ways, in his terms. Shoot the things that have a meaning, a story, so that 10 years down the line, that single photograph triggers all the 6 senses of yours which you experienced at that very moment. And one tip that I would like to give you guys here is know your camera inside and out. Because the very moment you have decided to shoot for yourself and to reflect the day-to-day moments in front of the society, you have taken a responsibility. Nobody gave it to you. You took it. So it's time to live up to that responsibility. Have heroes. Now, this is very plain and simple, yet this is one of the most important ingredients that helped me improve my street photography. By having heroes, I don't mean to say that you're gonna copy them, but these heroes give you the permission that you are on the right path, the permission that the process of your creation is not something unworthy. That is why you need a hero. For me, I have two heroes, Sean Tucker and Faisal Westcott. Now, there's a very good example of what is the difference between inspiration and heroes. Joshua Jackson, he's a London-based street photographer, and this man is a gem. The shadows and the highlights of black and white to the vibrancies of the colors. It seemed that this guy has everything within his hands, but yet I couldn't consider him as a hero. What's the reason? The reason is that this guy shoots in London. London as a city is very vibrant. London's advancements has a classical touch to them. That is what Joshua Jackson implements and exercises upon. Because Joshua is more of a London-based photographer. And by London-based, I don't mean that he shoots in London. His photographs are London-centric. Faisal and Sean on the other sides are not that city-based. Rather, they utilize the shadows. They utilize the shadows and the emotions of the person in their frame. All of these photographers are fantastic at what they do, but I chose Sean Tucker and Faisal Westcott as my hero because naturally I was driven towards emotions. The very moment I stumbled upon Westcott's and Sean Tucker's work, I found my hero. I found the permission. I found my permission that yes, I'm going on the right path. So that's what you need. And I don't know how this happens, but it always happens. Luck always helps you to stumble upon one of your heroes that will give you the permission to create selflessly. Before I go, I just want to tell you that the journey of improvement in photography is endless. And the best way that you can comprehend that your art is improving is when you can connect with people and their stories and their struggles are being portrayed through your artwork. Just take photographs of the things that speak to you. Take the pressure off. There is no one to prove. And trust me, no one cares. And if someone has a place in your life, they will definitely find a way back into it. And you don't need to prove anything about it. Trust me. Focus on your message, your journey, and your art. And create something that's meaningful to you. Peace. Good night.